Welcome everybody to the Oniro Working Group. Why join us this panel discussion that takes place as part of the Oniro track. This new working group and project announced yesterday by Eclipse Foundation Executive Director. And we have in this panel several participants representing different organizations that are contributing or collaborating within Oniro. And without further delay, I will introduce them very shortly. First, we have Andrea Basso, Director of Innovation at Synesthesia from Italy. Hello.
Hi.
Okay, then Andrea Gallo, Vice President of Business Development at Linaro from UK.
Hi everyone.
Carlo Piana, founder and partner at Array Law from Italy.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Gianluca Venere, Chief Innovation Officer at SECO, also from Italy.
Hello, everybody.
Davide Ricci, Director of Open Source Technology Center at Huawei, from, well, in this case from Italy, but the center is across all Europe.
Hi again, Eclipse Conference 2021.
Dr. Hu-Pei Shin, the Chief Software Architect and Community Director of Open Source at Huawei and Chairman of Open Harmony, an Open Atom Foundation project from China. Thank you for joining us.
Hello. Hello, everybody.
And finally, Patrick Onawayne, I didn't pronounce it correctly, I know, Head of Unit Tech Transfer Digital at Noi Tech Parcat from Italy. Apologies from my pronunciation, Patrick.
Don't worry. It's Onawayne.
Onawayne, okay, great.
Hi, Augustine. Hi, all.
Okay, so let me start. I would like to have a very short intro. Basically, the objective of this panel is showing that Oniro, it's a project and a working group from the Eclipse Foundation that already has captured a lot of interest from different organizations. And what we are trying to achieve here is show why, in this case, the organizations we have here are interested in Oniro, what are they trying to get out of a project, and why others, and by expressing or describing that, we hope that others will ask questions regarding why should they join, or what could be interesting for them about the project that would make them join us. So basically, that's our main objective. So without further delay, let's start by, I would like to hear from you, from any of you, at least one aspect that you would highlight related with Oniro that justify that your organization has invested in the project already and is about to invest even more during the coming month or years. Let's start, for example, by the one that is on my left, Davide Ricci.
Hi, Agustin. Thanks for the question. So I guess the question is the most important aspect that I can think of Oniro. So there's many open source IoT projects out there. I think the main feature of Oniro is it is that the project is very ambitious, and it doesn't hide its ambitions in trying to address the problem that we have today on how consumer IoT is designed, or rather, I should say, not designed. So when I say not designed, if you think about the consumer IoT market today, you can think of a highly fragmented market where each player builds their devices in their own way with their own technology. Devices are not meant to work one with each other. I think we can see this in how many applications we have to install on our phones for controlling any IoT devices. They're supposed to talk to each other. And then all of this data that goes to the cloud where this patch up work of communication and collaboration is happening. And the reason why it's fragmented, it's also in the fact that the business driver for IoT is monetizing data of people in the cloud, devices and persons, right? And this doesn't really help reducing fragmentation because it drives the money away from where fragmentation is happening, which is at the edge. So reducing fragmentation and rebalancing the flow of money, it is very ambitious, and it does require all actors to be involved. It's a global problem. It does require global participation, and this is where Oniro is ambitious, because it tries to create and foster that environment where industry members can design the IoT of the future and try to make it more balanced. At the same time, and I'm thanking Peshin to be with us, the Eclipse Foundation and Oniro recognize the fact that not only this is a problem for one company, it's not a problem that one foundation can solve. You cannot scale globally unless cooperation is achieved with other players and other open source foundations around the world, right? And so this is the second way in which Oniro is unique. I don't think collaboration between two foundations and two working groups has ever been tried or achieved. And so the project and the two projects are so ambitious, but at the same time humble, recognizing the fact that only together they can try to achieve this global reach and fix this global problem. Okay, so ambition is the one features of Oniro and Open Harmony that really strikes me.
And in fact, I can add on what David said. I'm speaking for Synesthesia, that is on the mobile development and innovation and AI support for operating systems. And this kind of simplification is also a huge simplification for the developer, for the efficiency of the application developed, and actually the better monetization of the value of the system, because fragmentation is really hugely reduced. So this is actually why Synesthesia is marrying this project.
A few words from SECO side. There are two main reasons why SECO is fully involved in this ambitious project. One is from a technological point of view. As David said, there is no IoT operating system at the moment available in the market. We are focusing on IoT and AI strategy, delivering a new product and solution for our customers. So we strongly believe that there is a void in the market, trying to adopt and putting a lot of effort using old OS, not born to be connected to the cloud or to run on the edge, AI application and so on. So from technical side, there is a huge expectation. From the other side is from the company perspective is to reduce the dev costs. When you participate to a community where there are thousands of developers that can support you, having only one kernel, one tool chain, having different components, we can serve our markets. We have many markets. Medical is the first one. Building automation, aerospace, industrial automation, wearable, wellness, vending machines, security and surveillance. So we have to support many verticals. So having only one solution that can address all of them, we are changing the internal, let me say, the pure cost of the R&D in a new business model for my R&D division, because we can, first of all, provide a long-term support, thanks also to the community. And making this business unit originally like a profitable part of the company, where we can sell also the new services for our customers, like the longevity and the support also at the OS level. So providing, let me say, fully customized solution for each specific market. So technological and let me say strategical for our vision on Oniro.
From the Linaro perspective, I would like to highlight the design work. I would like to highlight that Oniro is, in my view, the first project of this kind, with this scope, with this complexity, that is designed to be open source, secure, upgradable, interoperable from the ground up. Security is not being retrofitted. Over-the-air updates, firmware updates are not being added later. Oh, we need an upgrade. How can we do that? No, this project is driving all this ground up from the ground, from the first requirements. Since we started collaborating, the requirements that were laid down by the team that initiated the project, the requirements were security, upgradability, interoperability between devices, and open source. And for Linaro, these are all key elements that are extremely important to us. They are part of our DNA. This is what we do every day, and this is why we are so interested in this project.
I probably want to talk a little bit about the relationship between Oniro and Open Harmony, where I represent. So I think people probably know Oniro, the code base wise, is based on Open Harmony. And the Open Harmony was initially developed by Huawei and now open source and also put under open governance of the Open Atom Foundation. But so basically, Oniro, of course, will based on a lot of technology Open Harmony has. But the aspect I would like to highlight is actually the joint development and the promotion of Oniro and Open Harmony by both open source organizations, the Eclipse Foundation and the Open Atom Foundation. Because we know Oniro as a project rooted in Europe, it has a mission to support related compliance requirements such as data privacy, security, and the localization use cases. But we'll still keep the fundamental technology compatibility with the Open Harmony. And we also share the same baseline for test cases, test specifications, and interoperability. And actually, both open source organizations, the Eclipse Foundation, Open Atom Foundation, will promote the joint development and help to build the ecosystem. So, for example, to attract more developers from different geographical regions with different culture, language. So I think people probably have read the joint the announcement, the PR done by the two organizations a couple of weeks back, and I think this kind of new open source development model are something which I think will attract a lot of adoptions in this changing world. I think this is another beauty of this kind of model of Oniro and of the collaboration between Oniro and Open Harmony.
Carlo, Patrick, what about you?
Well, we are lawyers, but we are also digital liberties activists. So seeing a project like this, which promises to be truly open source, not just in software, but in the approach, in a shared approach by not dominated by one company, but shared by actors, is so exciting that I couldn't be missing it. And it's where we stand very, very comfortably. I truly hope that, and I'm sure that this project will deliver what other projects, famous and very widespread, has promised to deliver, but failed miserably, not just because they took an open source approach in the first place and transform everything in a proprietary and strongly held platform, but also failed to involve and others in the decision and turn up being dictators or dominators of environment that everybody else will just wait and see what happens next, decide what technology goes in, what technology goes out, and you just take it. This approach is what I like, because it's truly open source, and it promises to be bringing what Linux is for the kernel to the entire ecosystem, the entire, and that's really, really exciting, and that is truly what open source is in my book.
Yes, maybe I can add. We are not a company, nor a tech park, but we are a technology park in the heart of Europe, and so our main mission is to help startups and companies to create new innovation. And therefore, we were fascinated to be part of this group from the beginning, because we connect Oniro with openness and the global community and the sharing of knowledge. And what Oniro has already done to develop itself is it created an environment for developers to work together with lawyers. So the concept of software licensing and release software as free open source software is in the heart of the core development of Oniro itself. And this brings the opportunity for a very diverse group of experts. So like lawyers, like Carlo Piana from Arrays, and software developers and DevOps to really work together and create an open platform for the IoT world. And this is something we think is very important for the development of new digital solutions done by startups and companies at the Neutech Park, but I think in the whole world. So Oniro is really the open platform for the IoT revolution.
I would like to invest the last few 5-7 minutes in, I would like to hear from you, what is the expected outcome for your organizations? What is the main value that you are expecting from Oniro in the next month or even years? What is those things that you would like to see achieved? Who can start providing some hints about it?
I'll start, and since I started first, I feel like I need to talk now because it's been way too long. I haven't been talking, so I'll just connect to what Pei-Shin said about Harmony, Open Harmony, and Oniro and Open Harmony. So I do represent the Open Source Technology Group at Huawei Consumer Business Group, and the Consumer Business Group is the business unit at Huawei that builds mobile phones, tablet, wearables, cameras, consumer devices for the IoT. So it would have been extremely easy, considering the market share that we have, especially in China and across the world, just to create another brand, our own brands. And that was the idea behind Harmony OS. Like, let's find a technology that is common across all of our product lines, and let's make sure that consumers buy our products, and inside our products in Sandbox, everything will be working smooth, right? But a global problem is not solved by by one company, right? We would have just created another silos. And so effectively we thought about, worst case, we end up being the only company that does this project. Best case, we involve the others. And so we actually get to a point where other industry players join and they build their devices. And then 2 years down the road, if I go to Fnac, Media World, Best Buy, I start seeing on the shelf of those consumer electronic stores, Open Harmony compatible product with the sticker on it. And it's not just Huawei's branded, but it's Bosch, it's Philips, it's Xiaomi, it's whomever you have in mind, right? And then I buy them, and I know that when I buy them and I power them on, then they work together. And they are all behind the promise of a privacy-friendly, security-friendly, consumer-centric promise of an interconnected IoT, which is more balanced toward everybody, more fair, as opposed just to be balanced toward cloud provider and monetization of data, right? So what do I expect? I expect that this effort that we took to make a project open and the effort that we invest in making that open will drive members, products, in the shelves of consumer electronic stores, interoperability of devices, and a more fair IoT in the next 3 to 5 years.
Yeah, and I want to add just one comment to what David said, and sustainability. This approach is highly sustainable in the sense that if you don't create silos, you don't have to duplicate. And Oniro has the promise of reducing duplication at maximum, if not actually zeroing in completely the duplication, simply because there will be one ecosystem that will work together in a very simple and effective way, which is also one of the reasons why Synesthesia is got involved in the project. We are a strong believer of sustainability also in this market.
And I would add commoditization of the common layers of software. My expectation is that device manufacturers, those that Davide mentioned, those that we want to see in the shops having Oniro as compliant devices, those manufacturers shall be enabled to focus their development efforts in the specific differentiating features, those that make their products unique, that make their product the best. And they shall not spend time in the common layers. The common layers that we're working on all together shall be a commodity all around. They shall all be, the common layer should be the same. Why should device manufacturers spend efforts in modifying the common layers without any real advantage? Why would they fork or carry out of tree patches? This is what is happening in other environments. And whenever there's a new kernel release, the cost of upgrading to a new, more secure release with better performances, that cost is extremely significant. So my expectation is that the common layers will be commoditized and the device manufacturers can just focus on their competitive advantage.
Gianluca, I guess you are mute.
Sorry. No, from our side, it's you have to consider that SECO is public, was public in several months ago, and now we are growing really fast thanks to the M&A activities we are doing. So we have now 8 R&D centers. So we would like to have a kind of common languages between the different R&D, the different things, and Oniro has to be, let me say, a kind of these common languages that create a common development, a common approach internally, also external, thanks to Eclipse and also to connecting our developers to a community. And it's important because we have to develop, we develop every day different platforms, x86, ARM, RISC-V, FPGA, microcontrollers, and Oniro supports all of them with the same approach. So for us, it's not only a cost optimization in terms of design effort from the OS side, but also the possibility to leverage all these new functionalities that you have just mentioned before, providing new services for our customers on these different platforms. So this is really strategic. For this reason, SECO is investing a lot, having more developers, and it's a new challenge for us. It's a bet for the company, but we strongly believe that it will be a really huge success story.
We have 1 minute for somebody else to mention something until the last minute of glory for each one of you.
Maybe I just wanted to add, for us at the Neut as a technology park who wants to foster innovation in companies, Oniro is a kind of acceleration platform in our view, because we have a lot of companies doing R&D, but then when they have to enter the market, they need an environment where their solutions can be delivered on. And Oniro is, in our view, the acceleration platform for new solutions in the IoT world. And that's why we are proud to be part of this ambitious project, as Davide said.
Thank you. I would like to finish this because we don't have more time, with 30 seconds from each one of you. One last message that you want to send to other organizations like yours, no matter if they are NGOs or foundations or corporations or smaller companies. What is a 30-second message that you want to provide to them related with Oniro? Davide, for instance.
You're breaking up a little, Agustin, on my end.
Oh, sorry about that. 30 seconds message for organizations like yours about Oniro.
Oh, you guys join this group. I mean, you see how many how diverse is the environment from device makers like Seiko, open source organization representing silicon vendors like Linaro, content creator AI company like Synesthesia, law firm and digital activists like Carlo, and Noitech Park, which is an incubator of technology. You also see collaboration with a Pacing team in China. So if you are a device maker, a content creator, a silicon vendor, you should be joining this project to drive the roadmap and help drive IoT so that it becomes more fair. And we will welcome you. And Eclipse will help us guarantee neutrality to this project so that you will be welcome and in a fair environment, which is well balanced for everybody.
Carlo, what about you?
I would say that we are preparing a business-friendly, a collaboration-friendly environment from legal, organizational, governance point of view. So it's a breath of new air in the industry, and I'm very trustful that this is a friendly environment for people joining, for companies joining, business doing business very cooperatively in the next way.
Thank you, Carlo. What about Andrea? Andrea Basso.
Let's make Oniro a success story. I think we have an amazing opportunity here in our hands. All the elements, as Carlo was saying, from a business perspective, from a technical perspective, from a value-added perspective. So let's use it to really make a great success story.
Andrea Gallo.
Join, contribute, enjoy, collaborate. Don't fork and use behind closed doors, but join and collaborate and contribute back. That will provide value to everybody else.
Patrick.
Yes, we can just say join the community. We have already seen a lot of innovation going on in the development of Oniro. We are learning every day. It's fascinating, and it's a big opportunity for all of us.
What about you, Gianluca?
Just a little spot. See you at Oniro Hardware Roadmap on the vending machine development blueprint. There is a panel dedicated in this EclipseCon, so see you there. It's very interesting for developers, makers, for content creators, for hardware manufacturers. So see you there.
And last but not least, Pei-Shin, go ahead, please.
It's really a great excitement to see the establishment and announcing of Oniro. And I believe the joint development and promotion effort between the two open source organizations, the Eclipse Foundation and the Open Atom Foundation, will not only provide a very successful open source project, but will also hopefully lay down a new path for people to do global and open technology collaboration.
Thank you very much. I hope that you found it interesting, and stay tuned for the rest of the talks of the Oniro track at this EclipseCon during the rest of the day. Thank you, everybody, for joining the panel. And that's it. We are basically done. We'll see each other in the next talks at EclipseCon. Thank you. Bye-bye.